Have you ever wondered why some people act strangely around you? Why their smiles seem forced, or their words carry an edge that doesn't quite sit right? Perhaps, without knowing, you have become the object of someone's jealousy. Jealousy is a silent disease of the heart, festering unseen, yet manifesting through actions that betray its presence. It is not always open hostility. More often, it is subtle, creeping into relationships, distorting admiration into resentment. If you have ever felt the sting of unspoken envy, it is crucial to recognize the signs. They mask jealousy as criticism. A jealous person seldom confronts their envy outright. Instead, they disguise it as constructive criticism. They may say, "I don't want to discourage you, but," or "you got lucky this time." Their words, rather than uplifting, carry an undertone meant to diminish your confidence. Pay attention, for their counsel is not given in love, but in rivalry. They feel threatened by your success. Some will not celebrate with you when you achieve something. Instead, they will downplay your accomplishments, attributing them to luck, favoritism, or an unfair advantage. Instead of saying, "Well done," they may say, "Anyone could have done that." Their discomfort at your progress speaks volumes. 3. They turn everything into a competition. Jealousy breeds an unnecessary race. A person envious of you does not seek growth for its own sake, but to prove themselves superior. If you buy a new phone, they suddenly need the latest model. If you share a personal success, they immediately counter with one of their own, real or exaggerated. This behavior stems from an inner fear of being overshadowed. They imitate you but resent you for it. At times, admiration and envy walk hand in hand. You may find someone mirroring your choices, dressing like you, speaking like you, or even pursuing similar goals. Imitation in itself is not harmful. But when it is driven by jealousy, it is accompanied by resentment. They want what you have, but despise you for having it first. They undermine you in front of others. One of the most telling signs of jealousy is the need to belittle you, especially when others are present. They make subtle jabs, laugh off your ideas, or highlight your past mistakes at the wrong moments. Such behavior is not accidental. It is an attempt to reduce your standing while elevating their own. They spread negativity behind your back. A jealous person may not confront you openly, but will speak ill of you when you are absent. They seek to plant doubt in the minds of others, subtly twisting your words or actions to suit their narrative. They do not attack you directly, but work in shadows, poisoning the ground where you stand. They pretend to support you, but secretly hope you fail. Not all who walk beside you are for you. Some may offer encouragement, yet their hearts desire your downfall. They wait silently for your failure, ready to say, "I told you so." Their support is a mask, and the cracks in it show when you succeed. Watch their reactions, for jealousy cannot hide forever. How should you respond? Now that you recognize these signs, what should you do? Do not let jealousy embitter you. Instead, guard your heart against resentment. Understand that those who envy you are often battling their own insecurities. Do not stoop to their level. Instead, rise above. Focus on your path and let your progress be an answer to their doubts. They mask jealousy as criticism. Jealousy is rarely expressed in its raw form. Instead, it finds a disguise, one that appears well-meaning but is laced with subtle malice. One of the most common ways people conceal their envy is through criticism that appears constructive on the surface but is, in reality, designed to bring you down. The envious person does not openly declare their feelings. Instead, they use carefully chosen words, crafting them in a way that allows them to wound without being easily confronted. They may say, "I don't want to sound negative, but," or "I'm just being honest with you." The pretense of honesty is what makes their words dangerous. Instead of genuinely helping you improve, their criticism is aimed at diminishing your confidence. Such individuals often find fault in everything you do. If you start a new project, they will point out why it might fail. If you achieve something remarkable, they will attribute it to external factors like luck, privilege, or connections. Their comments are not meant to guide you, but to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. They want you to second-guess yourself, because they already do. Another common tactic they use is offering unsolicited advice, but their advice often carries a tone of condescension. If you share an idea, they might respond with, "I don't think that will work, but you can try if you want." The phrasing suggests that failure is inevitable, subtly discouraging you from moving forward. They act as if they are trying to save you from disappointment, when, in reality, they are hoping for your failure. Sometimes this masked jealousy takes the form of a backhanded compliment. Instead of directly criticizing you, they will make statements that seem positive at first, but contain an underlying insult. They might say, "Wow, I never expected you to do so well," or "You're lucky that people like you." These remarks, though disguised as praise, are carefully worded to imply that your success is surprising, undeserved, or accidental. This behavior is particularly evident in group settings, where a jealous person may feel the need to diminish your achievements in front of others. If you receive praise, they might interject with a reminder of a past failure, or subtly imply that what you did was not that impressive. Their goal is not only to make you question yourself, but also to influence how others perceive you. What makes this form of jealousy so deceptive is that it often comes from people who claim to care about you. They may frame their criticism as concern, saying things like, "I just don't want you to get your hopes up too much." This makes it difficult to call them out, because they can always defend themselves by insisting that they were just trying to help. Their criticism is often laced with comparisons. If you succeed, they might remind you that someone else has done it better or faster. Instead of celebrating your progress, they highlight how far you still have to go. This kind of comparison is meant to strip away your sense of accomplishment, making you feel as though your achievements are never enough. Even when they do not speak directly, their facial expressions and body language reveal their true feelings. A forced smile, a dismissive nod, or an insincere, "That's great," can communicate just as much as words. Their reluctance to acknowledge your success openly is a clear indicator of their underlying jealousy. A person masking their jealousy as criticism often exhibits inconsistency in their reactions. If you fail, they are quick to point it out, but if you succeed, they act as if nothing has happened. They selectively acknowledge your efforts only when it serves their narrative, that you are not as capable as you seem. The most dangerous aspect of this hidden jealousy is that, over time, it can influence your own perception of yourself. If you are constantly subjected to disguised negativity, you may start believing that their criticisms are valid. You may begin questioning your abilities, hesitating before taking risks, or feeling unworthy of your success. Recognizing this behavior is crucial. Understand that not all criticism is constructive, and not everyone who offers advice has your best interests at heart. Pay attention to the patterns in their words and actions. Do they consistently highlight your weaknesses while downplaying your strengths? Do they make you feel smaller instead of stronger? If so, you may be dealing with someone who is not guiding you, but secretly hoping to see you falter. Jealousy is an internal struggle, and those who feel it often project their insecurities onto others. When someone masks their envy with criticism, it is not a reflection of your inadequacy, but of their own feelings of insufficiency. Their words are not an accurate measure of your worth or potential. Keep this in mind, and do not allow disguised negativity to dictate the course of your journey. They feel threatened by your success. Success reveals more than just your potential. It exposes the true feelings of those around you. Some will celebrate your achievements, but others will feel uneasy, as if your progress diminishes their worth. The jealous person is not merely uninterested in your success, they are threatened by it. When you achieve something significant, their response is lukewarm at best. While others may express joy and encouragement, they offer only half-hearted congratulations or an indifferent, "That's nice." There is no genuine excitement in their voice, only forced politeness, as if acknowledging your success is a burden. They downplay your accomplishments, attributing them to external factors rather than your effort or skill. If you land a great opportunity, they might say, "You are lucky." If you succeed in something difficult, they might dismiss it with, "Anyone could have done that." Their words are meant to make your achievements seem less impressive, ensuring that you do not feel too proud. Rather than recognizing the effort you put in, they focus on what they perceive as unfair advantages. They believe that if they had the same resources, connections, or circumstances, they would have achieved just as much, if not more. Instead of seeing your success as the result of hard work, they convince themselves that the playing field was uneven. When others praise you, they become visibly uncomfortable. Compliments directed at you seem to irritate them, and they may try to shift the focus elsewhere. If someone says, "You did an amazing job," they might quickly add, "But don't forget a lot of people helped," or, "Well, let's see if you can keep it up." Their goal is to dilute your recognition, making sure you do not receive too much admiration. Sometimes their jealousy takes the form of passive-aggressive comments. They might say, "I guess things just come easy for some people," or "Not everyone has the luxury to focus on things like that." These remarks are designed to undermine your success, suggesting that it was handed to you rather than earned. They find ways to compare your success to their own struggles. Instead of being happy for you, they use your achievement as a reminder of what they lack. If you get a promotion, they will talk about how unfair their boss is. If you make progress in your personal goals, they will bring up how difficult their situation is. Your success does not inspire them. It reminds them of their perceived failures. In conversations, they subtly try to one-up you. If you mention an accomplishment, they immediately bring up something they have done, even if it is unrelated. If you say, "I just finished writing my book," they might respond with, "Oh, I've been so busy with my own projects too." They cannot allow your success to take center stage, so they redirect attention back to themselves. They avoid discussing your success altogether. While others may ask about your progress or express curiosity about your achievements, they remain silent. They do not want to acknowledge your growth, because doing so would mean confronting their own insecurities. They would rather ignore your accomplishments than risk feeling inferior. When they do speak about your success, it is often laced with doubt or skepticism. They might say, "Let's see how long that lasts," or "It's only a matter of time before reality sets in." Their words are not those of a friend who believes in you, but of someone who secretly hopes for your downfall. They may even attempt to discourage you, offering advice that is meant to hold you back rather than help you. If you share your plans for the future, they might respond with, "That's really risky, are you sure about this?" Or, "You shouldn't get your hopes up too much." Their concern is not genuine. It is a reflection of their fear that you will continue to succeed. In group settings, they minimize your achievements. If someone congratulates you, they might interject with a reminder of a past mistake or challenge you faced. They do not want others to admire you too much, so they try to balance every success with a subtle reminder of your flaws. Their body language often betrays their true feelings. When you talk about your success, they may avoid eye contact, cross their arms, or force a tight-lipped smile. Their expressions are not those of a supportive friend, but of someone struggling to suppress their resentment. They may even attempt to sabotage your progress in subtle ways. If you are working on something important, they might distract you, discourage you, or withhold useful information. They do not want you to fail outright. That would be too obvious, but they do want to slow you down. If your success continues to grow, their frustration intensifies. They might begin talking negatively about you behind your back, telling others that you have changed or become arrogant. They seek to control the narrative, making it seem as though your success has come at the cost of your character. At times, their jealousy manifests in bitterness. They might say, "Some people just have all the luck," or "I wish I had it as easy as you." These statements reveal their belief that your success is undeserved and that they are somehow the victim of an unfair system. They may even withdraw from your life entirely. Rather than deal with the discomfort of seeing you succeed, they choose to distance themselves. Their absence is not because they are busy. It is because they cannot bear to witness your growth while feeling stagnant themselves. Their jealousy is not about you. It is about them. Your success forces them to confront their own insecurities, and rather than addressing their shortcomings, they project their frustration onto you. They are not threatened by what you have achieved. They are threatened by what it reveals about them. They turn everything into a competition. Jealousy often turns admiration into rivalry. A person who envies you does not just observe your progress, they feel the need to surpass it. What should be a journey of personal growth becomes a contest in their mind, where your success feels like their failure. Their competitive nature is not always direct. Sometimes it manifests subtly in conversations. When you share an accomplishment, instead of congratulating you, they immediately mention something they have done. If you say, "I finally completed my project," they respond with, "Oh, I finished mine last week." The timing is not a coincidence. It is an attempt to shift the focus back onto themselves. Their competition extends beyond work or achievements. It seeps into personal life as well. If you buy a new phone, they suddenly need the latest model. If you start going to the gym, they talk about how they have been working out even longer. Your choices trigger a reaction, as if they must prove that they are ahead of you. They measure everything in terms of superiority. If you mention a small success, they immediately escalate the conversation. If you say, "I just learned a new skill," they counter with, "That's great, but I already mastered that a while ago." They cannot allow you to feel accomplished without subtly implying that they have done more. Their competitiveness is not limited to individual achievements, it extends to social relationships. If you develop a close friendship with someone, they suddenly become more interested in that person, trying to establish a stronger bond. If you gain recognition from someone important, they seek to do the same, ensuring they are not left behind. At times, their competition is disguised as playful teasing. They might say, "Let's see if you can keep up with me," or "I guess I'll just have to outdo you." While these words seem light-hearted, they reveal a deeper need to validate themselves by surpassing you. Even in casual conversations, they seek ways to establish dominance. If you tell a funny story, they immediately follow with one of their own, trying to make it more interesting. If you talk about an experience, they interrupt to share theirs, as if their version is more valuable. Their need to compete is not driven by a genuine desire to improve, but by insecurity. They do not measure success by their own progress, but by how much better they appear compared to you. Your achievements make them feel inadequate, so they constantly seek to prove their worth. They often dismiss your victories as insignificant while exaggerating their own. If you achieve something notable, they say, "That's nice, but it's not a big deal." If they achieve something minor, they make sure everyone knows about it, treating it as if it were groundbreaking. Their competitiveness is relentless. Even in group settings, they look for ways to outperform you. If you receive praise, they subtly redirect attention toward themselves. If someone admires your work, they find a way to highlight their own efforts. They cannot allow you to be in the spotlight for too long. Sometimes their competition becomes passive-aggressive. They might say, "I could have done that too, but I didn't have the time," implying that your success is not due to skill but simply a matter of availability. Their words are carefully chosen to undermine your accomplishments without being overtly hostile. Their behavior becomes more pronounced when they feel they are falling behind. If they perceive you as excelling in an area they once dominated, their need to compete intensifies. They suddenly take an interest in the same activities, not out of passion, but to prove they can do it better. Their jealousy turns admiration into imitation. If they see you achieving something, they feel compelled to pursue the same goal, not because they want it, but because they fear being left behind. They copy your actions, not out of respect, but to ensure they are not outshined. At times, their competition is disguised as motivation. They may say things like, "I'm just pushing you to do better," or "Let's see who can improve the most." But their encouragement is not genuine. It is a way to justify their rivalry, while masking it as support. They often refuse to acknowledge when you surpass them. If you excel in an area they once dominated, they shift the focus elsewhere. They pretend not to notice, acting as if your achievement is irrelevant, simply because they can no longer compete. Even in failure, they seek ways to twist the situation to their advantage. If they lose in a direct competition, they create an excuse. They might say, "I wasn't really trying," or "I would have won if I had more time." They refuse to accept defeat because their self-worth is tied to being perceived as superior. Their need to compete is emotionally draining. Instead of feeling inspired by your success, they feel threatened by it. They do not see progress as something to be celebrated together, but as something to be contested. Their jealousy blinds them to the fact that success is not a limited resource. Instead of focusing on their own growth, they remain trapped in an endless race, one that exists only in their mind.